No chain can bind a lion. Time Warriors! Richard was born on September 8, 1157 in Oxford, England. He was the third son of Henry II, King of England, and Eleanor of Aquitaine. Richard's family came from a powerful loyal lineage entangled in vast political and military conflicts across England and France. His mother, Eleanor, was one of the most influential women on that era and played a vital role in his upbringing and education.
We will call you Richard, my son. One day, you will learn how to stand against your enemies with the heart of a lion.
Richard received meticulous training from an early age. He was fluent in French and Latin and influenced by his mother, who was herself a warrior and politician, developed a keen interest in military skills. Eleanor deeply impacted Richard's character, introducing him to the world of politics and the arts of war from a young age. Richard's love for poetry and music also showed that he was not only a warrior, but a cultured man with vast knowledge. Though Richard was Henry II's third son, the internal strife among Henry's sons made him a contender for the throne. Conflicts with his father over the division of power and lands in France created constant tension within the family. Richard played an active role in the disputes, becoming a young military leader. In 1173, alongside his brothers, young Henry and Geoffrey, Richard rebelled against their father, Henry II. This uprising was fueled by disputes over land and power distribution within the Angevin family. "We must show our father that the lands in France are ours, not his. Afterward, I'll take Aquitaine for myself. But are we ready to pay the price for this betrayal?" Their father's power was far greater than the son's, forcing them to surrender. Though the rebellion failed and Richard had to renew his loyalty to his father, this experience marked his first serious encounter with politics and battle. The Crusades were among the most significant events of the medieval era, aiming to reclaim the Holy Land from Muslim control. In 1187, following the Christians' defeat at the Battle of Hattin and Jerusalem's fall to Saladin, Pope Gregory VIII declared the Third Crusade. Richard, who had been interested in the Crusades since childhood, was one of the first kings to answer the Pope's call. He financed the campaign by selling properties and raising taxes. In 1189, after his father Henry II's death, Richard ascended to the English throne and decided to personally join the crusade. "Forward, knights! Today we spill our blood together in battle, but our names will live on forever!" Lionheart, I admire your courage, but this land is ours. If I must, I'll fight 1,000 more times to reclaim it. Richard participated in key battles, including the Siege of Acre and the Battle of Arsuf, achieving significant victories. Although he couldn't fully reclaim Jerusalem, he managed to establish a temporary truce with Saladin, allowing Christians to visit Jerusalem on pilgrimage. On this return journey from the Crusades, Richard faced new challenges. Due to his rivalry with Duke Leopold of Austria, he was captured in Austria in December 1192 and handed over to Emperor Henry VI of the Holy Roman Empire. The emperor held him for over a year, demanding a large ransom for his release. No chain can bind the heart of a lion. So this is the famous Lionheart. Now that you are caged, how much of that pride remains?
My pride lies on a battlefield, not in a cage. Release me, and I'll show you.
Richard's captivity brought England great financial strain and political instability. His brother John tried to seize the throne in Richard's absence, but upon his release in 1194, Richard returned to England and reclaimed power.
I have returned, and England is once again in the hands of its king.
After his return, Richard dealt with internal rebellions and external threats. He spent most of his reign battling the French, especially Philip II, over territorial disputes in France, as Richard sought to retain the lands belonging to the Angevin family. In 1199, while besieging the castle of Chalus-Chabrol in France, Richard was wounded by an arrow. His wound quickly became infected and he passed away on April 6, 1199. He was laid to rest in the Fontevraud Abbey alongside his parents.
No, it's not my time yet. Tell them that Richard the Lionheart fought to the very end and never bowed his head.
Richard is remembered as one of England's most beloved figures in literature and popular culture, featuring in stories like Robin Hood and as a symbol of bravery and honor. Historically, he is celebrated for his courage and military skills, though he is also criticized for neglecting England's domestic affairs while focusing heavily on foreign wars. And so ends the story of Richard the Lionheart. The video you just watched is the result of countless hours of work by our 6-person team. Please support us by liking this video and sharing your creative ideas in the comments. Until next time, goodbye.